All right, today guys, we're working on the E major scale. This is 2 octaves and you're gonna play it at 60 beats per minute. So in my head, I've got my metronome going here. That's how I played it before. I'm gonna talk about a couple extra tips that you can work on. So the first thing we have to know, E major, we have 4 sharps. You have F, C, G, D. Fat cats go down, and then the rest is Allie's eating bread, but we just have 4, F, C, G, D. And so all of those notes are going to be sharp. You're going to start on E and on E. What you need to know is this has a shift in it. So you're going to have a shift into either 3rd or 4th position. We do need to know our finger patterns. And so, yes, the sharp is going to help you know. 4 sharps is going to help you know. But the finger patterns, so you know, in 1st position, it's going to be 3 and 4. 3-4 finger pattern, those are going to be touching. On the D and the A string, if you continue in 1st position on the E string, it's going to be 2-3 finger pattern. You might notice that with your finger patterns for major scales, sometimes they stay the same for 2 strings at a time, but never stay the same for 3 strings at a time. If you go into 4th position, then what I like about this finger pattern is you can actually just keep the 3-4 finger pattern. So the first thing that you saw was a shift to 4th position. That was that scale, and that's a 3-4 finger pattern. Now, if you are going to go to 3rd position, then it's going to be a little bit different. That's going to be on the E string, and that's going to be a whole step open finger pattern. That means everything's a whole step, and then you extend your pinky 1/2 step to either the harmonic or just that high E. So I'm going to show you both right now, but you do have to get that finger pattern down. Practice that. That's going to be really important. So here's the first one. Now, I actually recommend shifting to 4th position, and the reason goes back to that finger pattern. You're going to have a 3-4 finger pattern for that whole time after you shift, and so the finger pattern really helps you by just staying consistent. So even though it's a little bit higher than 3rd position, I actually recommend it. So here's the finger pattern and the scale to 4th position. So we have E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and here's our first shift. So we shift up after 3rd finger instead of 4th finger, a 1/2 step away. You're going to shift a 1/2 step away with 1st finger. So your 1st finger goes to E. Now you started the scale on 1st finger E. Now you're on 1st finger E again. That's why the finger pattern stays the same, and that's why I really like it. F sharp, G sharp, A. Now this is going to be a harmonic, but you're not going to play it as a harmonic, okay? If you're in 4th position, no need to do, but you can use it to check your intonation. B, C sharp, D sharp, here's the top of the scale. That high E. That's also a harmonic, and we're not going to use that because there's no need except to check our intonation. They should be pretty much the same. So going back down, I do the same thing as I did coming up. So here's that E, D sharp, C sharp, B, A, G sharp, F sharp, and then E. Shifting back down, I have high 3. Remember, it's a 3-4 finger pattern. Our 4th finger would have been on E. G sharp, C sharp, B, A, G sharp, F sharp, and E. So that's the 4th position version. I recommend that because the finger pattern stays the same, 3 and 4 both times. Okay, second one, same scale, different shifting. Okay, so different shifting. The finger pattern stays the same for the D string and the A string because we are doing that octave exactly the same, except instead of shifting up, I go to 4th finger. I'm going to go to the E string now. I have got a 2-3 finger pattern. F sharp, G sharp, A. I shift up to third position, first finger A. Then I have the whole step pattern, open finger pattern, extending to E for the harmonic this time, or just to play the E. Okay, so here's the second version. This is the third position version. E. G sharp. A. B. C sharp. D sharp. I stay in first. F sharp. G sharp. This is where I slide to A. B. Notice C sharp. Whole step. D sharp between each of the fingers. Here I can either play the E by just extending, try not to lift those fingers, or harmonic, in which case I do have to lift the fingers up a little bit, because if I don't, then the harmonic won't speak. Okay, going back down. So we're in third position, and we've got the harmonic note, or you're just playing it. I'm just gonna play it. Half step back with pinky. C sharp. B, A, G sharp, F sharp, E, G sharp, C sharp, B, A, G sharp, F sharp, and E. All right, so we just worked on those 2 finger options. You may just feel inclined to use the third position one, shifting up just to third position on that A. I actually think it's a little trickier to get that pinky up a half step and then back. But you should, do what's easiest for you. Practice both, because it's good to be able to play in different positions. Now, what are we looking for in this scale? We're looking for really strong intonation, great tone. We're looking for about a 60 beat per minute. Note change, separate bows, just going up 60 beats per minute, going back down to the quarter note. One thing you can do is set your metronome to 120, and then you'll just play every 2 clicks, because 120 would be like an 8th note at 60 beats per minute. Okay, so the trickiest thing about this scale is going to be that shift, and whether you're shifting from first to third, or from first to fourth, or whatever position to whatever position, you must remember the principles of shifting, okay? And so there's 2 big ones that I try to always think about. The first one is your thumb stays with your hand. And it might be helpful to just practice this motion, coming around, even without your fingers on the fingerboard, maybe add them. That will help you keep your thumb with your first finger. Stays about right at the same spot your first finger does. The second thing is you're always using a finger to shift. So let's talk about the third position shift first, and that shift happens on the E string. So my first finger's on F sharp, second finger's on G sharp, and then I'm shifting to A. What is really happening in that shift? What I'm doing is I'm sliding my first finger up. So my first finger does not leave F sharp, it stays on F sharp, and I just slide that up on the string. How do I know when to end? A few things, but the diameter of the neck, since it's my violin, I know what that feels like, so I kind of build a muscle memory, and I also hear it because I'm sliding and practicing sliding until I'm 100% comfortable on that shift. And when you're practicing sliding, you're listening. Okay, number 1 shifting exercise. Definitely recommend you do that. I know where my goal pitch is. Even though I'm using second finger here, G sharp to first finger A, my shifting finger is my destination finger. What does that mean? The finger that I'm sliding up with is first finger, and the finger that I end with is first finger, even though second finger's down. In slow-mo, it looks like this. play it again for you. So my second finger starts sliding up, and then I lift it once my first finger gets to that destination note. Some people lift a little earlier. Okay, but what's really important is that your first finger stays. I'm not hopping, I'm not jumping up and putting it down, I'm staying there. You will want to practice that two main ways. First way, 1-to-1. So F sharp is the finger that slides up and then back. Second way, with second finger on G sharp, still leaving first finger down, sliding your whole hand, and then lifting to reveal that shift, then lifting to reveal that destination finger. Eventually it sounds like this. Okay, backwards is actually the same thing. So I'm going, finishing that scale, and now I'm shifting. So my shifting finger is my first finger. I slide back and I put that finger on F sharp. At that moment, that's when I put second finger G sharp down. Eventually it turns into this, or change bows to hide that shift. Kind of doing it in a medium motion there so you can see what I'm doing. Please slow the video down to 75 or even 50%, and you'll hopefully be able to see that I'm hopefully always leaving a finger down as I shift. I'm always sliding up or back with that finger. So fourth position, same concept. Instead of on the E string, I'm on the A string, and I'm shifting from third finger to first finger. But what finger am I really shifting with? First finger, because that's my destination finger. And I want to make sure that that finger is down during the shift. So I'll be playing. Okay, so what you see is I slide up with all my fingers and then reveal that first finger beneath it on the new note. As you get faster, the lifting of the fingers happens during the shift, but I would try to leave the fingers down and then lift. The root of that is first finger sliding up the whole way, not lifting that first finger. The only other thing is you also have your second, third finger down. Going back, opposite. So I'm going from first finger E to third finger D sharp. But I'm actually going to shift first finger all the way back down to B and then set my fingers down in the right finger pattern. So here's my fourth position E. And you can see I'm shifting down and setting 2 and 3 down as well. All right, folks, so that is the E major scale, 2 octaves. Again, 2 ways to do it. Third position, shifting on the E string, and then the extension, or fourth position, shifting on the A string. Looking for solid intonation, really beautiful tone, steady, about 60 beats per minute, quarter note, and really accurate shifts. All right, thanks, folks.